Well, good morning, sports fans. It's getting down to the wire. We have high school playoff time. This is the week before sub-state, so there's a lot of good games on tap. So let's get right to them.
Let's do it.
We have Garden Plain, Hoisington. Hoisington's had Garden Plain's number for a couple years now, and they're good. I'm going to stick with the hometown team. I'm taking the Owls to win this game.
I definitely respect that, but Hoisington, they're undefeated on the season. The game's in Hoisington, so I'm unfortunately going to go against the home team, and I need to make up a couple games.
A few.
A couple, yeah.
The next one is southeast of Saline at Collegiate. I don't know much about southeast of Saline other than they're undefeated. I've heard talk that they're pretty good this year. Collegiate, yeah, they have one loss. It was an ugly loss though to Annandale. So I'm taking southeast of Saline.
Who'd they lose to again? Collegiate?
To Annandale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just surprised you brought that up.
It's the only way I can really gauge them, to be honest with you.
I agree with what the sheriff said. Southeast of Saline, they're having a really nice season. They're undefeated, but Collegiate looked good last week, and it's at Collegiate, so I'm going to go with the hometown team on this one.
Next up is Annandale, Riley County. Riley County, I believe, is undefeated. Has had a good season this year. I don't know exactly who they play and those type of things, but I'm sticking with Annandale. They're on a roll right now. I think they're going to win.
I agree with you. Riley County's having a nice season, but Annandale hasn't really been challenged. I think they will be challenged in this game, but I think they'll be too strong.
Next up is probably the best game
Absolutely.
Of the week, Bishop Carroll Mays. This is a toss-up. I really don't know who's going to win this game. They're very evenly matched. Mays has had not as tough a schedule as Bishop Carroll, but they've still had a tough schedule. I'm going to have to take the Golden Eagles. I'm taking Bishop Carroll.
This one I had to actually ponder for a while. Two great teams. It's at Mays. I've been talking about Bishop Carroll's tough schedule all season. I think it's going to pay dividends in this game, but definitely the best game on the slate. And the winner gets to play probably the best team in the state.
Which is our next game, Capon and Northwest. I think this would be another good game. Capon, this is the first time they've gotten this deep in the playoffs. They're playing well. Northwest is just too strong. If they play defense, Northwest, I think they'll win this game, so I'm taking Northwest.
Capon's had a nice season, but they haven't played a team like Northwest with the size, the speed, all that stuff. They got D1 kids on both sides of the ball, and kudos to Capon for their season, but Northwest is going to get this one.
Next, we got East and Junction City. I'd really like to stick with the hometown team on
Me
this
too.
with East, but I think Junction City is going to be too strong, and it's up in Junction City. I'm taking Junction City.
I pulled up Junction City's schedule. They only have one loss, and it's to Bishop Carroll. There's definitely no shame in that loss. I'd like to pick East, but since it's in Junction City, I'm going to go with them.
So next up is Derby and Lawrence. Derby is having a better season now. They started off a little bit slow, but they're really starting to roll and look like the old Derby. Lawrence is a really good team. I know it's in Lawrence, but I'm going to stick with Derby.
Derby's hitting their stride. They're going to be a tough out, but Lawrence has been number one in 6A all season, and it's in Lawrence, so I'm going to go with Lawrence.
Next, we got college football. We have TCU in West Virginia. This is a toss-up. It is in West Virginia. They're coming off of a loss, I believe, last week. Didn't they lose to Texas?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think.
pretty sure they did. TCU has been one of those teams that have surprised me. Kept picking against them and kept losing, so I'm taking TCU.
These next two big games, they kind of a great example of Big 12 mediocrity. They're both coin tosses because all these teams are pretty much equal and not really that good. So West Virginia, TCU, it's at West Virginia. We'll go with the home team, West Virginia.
The issue, though, is does TCU and West Virginia have wins?
Yeah, against other Big 12 teams.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure because I know the Nebraska does not have a win yet.
I'm not for sure, but I bet if we check, I bet they have some losses to Sun Belt teams. Big 12 struggles with the Sun Belt.
Yeah. So next up, we got Baylor and Texas Tech. I'm taking Texas Tech in this game. Baylor's just not very good this
A
year.
little disappointed in Baylor and Dave Aranda. It's in Lubbock, so I'm going to go with the Red Raiders.
As many of you might or might not know, Jordan and Jamie are folks that help behind the scenes, so I have a joke for them. Jordan and Jamie.
I'm not part of the joke.
No, you'll be part of it.
I know.
So what do you call a Nebraska Cornhusker football player with a championship ring?
What's
I
that?
don't know.
Thief. End of the jokes.
Nope, I'm pretty quick with it. Pretty Really quick on my feet. What do you call a K-State player with a championship ring?
What?
You can't. They don't have any. In any sport. Basketball, football, baseball.
Debate.
Debate. Yeah, I think
We
that's
can
on the
debate
highway.
the heck out of you.
Yep, I've seen it on the highway. 1976 debate champs.
Well,
Go
you
purple.
know. So who does Nebraska play this week? Do they play like the Xavier Musketeers or
No.
some no-name team, or do they actually play a team?
Big
that
Ten
we've heard
schedule,
of?
one of the best teams in the history of college football. Well, both these teams are big names in college football. Penn State and Nebraska. Tradition.
Gotcha. Yeah, they both haven't won the game yet.
Right.
Yeah.
They both played Ohio State.
But you played Northwestern last week, which you said, oh, it's just going to be they'll walk all over them.
I did not say that.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Oh.
I think I built up Northwestern. That's why they're ranked this week.
Oh, okay.
You must have misunderstood what I said.
I probably did.
Kind of like the presidential debates. A lot of them yeah.
Well, who do you got in this game?
Oh, without a doubt, it's in Lincoln. Best fans in the country. Unfortunately, they won't be there. But Frost, he's starting to play the freshman he's brought in. One of their freshmen just got invited. One of their incoming freshmen just got invited to the biggest all-star game there is. So he's still recruiting well, and Huskers going to come and get this one. So Huskers.
Well, here's kind of my thinking of Scott Frost and Nebraska. They're actually playing with his recruits now and still not winning. I don't know if Scott Frost will be around much longer if he stays this way. Bo Pelini actually has a better record after his first 3 years than Scott Frost. So I'm absolutely taking Penn State. They play the plain Jane uniforms, but they are a tradition, and more recently have still been a tradition in Nebraska from the 80s and early 90s. So I'm absolutely taking Penn State.
I can understand where you're coming from with the Bo Pelini comment, because a lot of people would be happy with 9 or 10 wins, or in K-State's 7 or 8 wins. That makes their fan base happy, but we're looking for more, and it takes a minute to get there. Frost is getting there. We don't settle for.
See it, but
Yeah.
okay. He's living on the shirt tails of supposedly winning a national championship down in Florida, which never really actually took place.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Nebraska fans hang their hat on. So
They got rings.
out of a gumball machine. Anyway, but back to reality now.
Yes.
So I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. It's supposed to be nice. Like I said, there's a lot of good football games on tap. Unfortunately, I saw that Mays did play for the soccer championship and ended up losing. So, but hey, it's a big kudos to Mays soccer
Absolutely.
team to get to that point and to compete for that championship. So congratulations to them. There were some local volleyball teams that made it to state. Some won, some didn't, but they really represented their schools well, and that's what you want to see out of those kids. So,
Agreed.
with that, we'll see you next week for the sub-state championships. Have a great weekend.